Hey guys, we're back on the show Books Ignite again. My name is Fola Folagbade, the celebrity publisher, and I am super excited about today's episode. Trust me. And but then, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please do so and help share this content. We want more people to be aware to know about the information we are dishing out on this channel. Right? Okay, straight to the point. I have with me an amazing personality, someone you definitely would love. She's someone I truly admire. I admire her work, her impact in the society, and I believe you will be excited about today's episode. Join me and welcome my guest for today, the person of Chinaza Favour. Chinaza, good to have you on the site today.
Good to be here.
Thank you. I know Chinaza to be this happy, very very happy, and I'm not kidding. If you're just meeting her today for the very first time, just check her out on social media and you will see the amazing stuff she's doing. All right, Chinaza, I have quite a number of questions for you today, right, that I want us to, discuss. But then I want to start by asking you, what's your mission in life? What's pushing you to do everything you're doing?
Okay. Have you seen this interview? I don't know his name. Why are you gay?
Oh no.
The way you got into the cocoa already.
Okay. Okay, so okay, I had to do that because
Yeah.
truth be told, I've been looking forward to having
have
this
to.
section with you, right? I know we had one on Facebook one
Yeah.
time, but I've been really looking forward to having this conversation with you.
Mhm.
And trust me, I have quite a number of things I want to know today, and I
I know.
believe the viewers too
I know.
would definitely want to know about the amazing Chinaza Favour. So please tell me, I've been so curious to know, what is your life mission? What is pushing you to do everything you're doing?
First of all, thank you for having me on your podcast
Welcome.
on
You're
Books
welcome.
Ignite.
You're welcome.
I have, like you, looked forward to this session. Like, I remember our first Books Ignite, how excited I was for it.
Yeah.
That is also the same excitement I have for this one. So I look forward to a very amazing conversation. And talking of who's always happy, you are also always happy as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
My mission in life. So I would say my mission for now, because vision, values, mission can evolve as one goes
Yeah.
through life. But for now, my mission is to help as many people, especially the young people, to help them to come to a place of awareness of who they are, a place of awareness of what they are capable of. Because I strongly believe that one of the woes
Yeah.
that we have right now is people not knowing who they are, people not having a clear definition of themselves. And because of that, we have a lot of people who are going by society standards, who are living by the definitions of society, getting into boxes that don't fit them just because they are told that this is where you should fit in. So if I can help as many young persons as I can to get that clarity of self, of purpose, then I think I'm good. That's my mission for now.
Wow, beautiful, and I think you're already living it, like with everything you're doing.
Your words are
Right?
kind.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
thank you. All right. Yeah. So you write very well, and
Thank you.
I read your post and everything. Right? You write very very well, and among every subject matter you could have decided to write on. Why did you choose? What motivated you to write a book for the young people, dear young one? Yeah.
Because my motivation actually is the fact that young people need to hear from a young person. It's not just about the things that I wrote, it's more about the person writing it. And the person writing it will determine how the message is passed across. Right. I was invited to speak somewhere, and after my session I saw lots of young people crying unashamedly. Even some older persons actually were broken by my speech, but it wasn't something that they hadn't heard before. Because when I got home I started asking myself questions. Why was this message received this way? And I was able to get the answer. It wasn't about the message, it was about the person saying it and how it was said. For most of the young people there, they kind of felt finally someone that understands me, someone that sees me, someone that understands the reality of my existence at this point. Because some older people, when you seek advice or counsel from them, they counsel you from the perspective of their time. Most of them are out of touch with the realities of young people these days. So it became paramount, and I needed to write it as a matter of urgency to young people. And I wrote it in the form of letters because I wanted to talk directly to anybody that would pick up the book and read. So the book was inspired because there was that gap between that. There was that generational gap between older people and younger people. And I wasn't going to just come and bridge the gap, but I just wanted, okay, you need this to have these conversations, but you can't have them with other people. Let me come in and try to have these conversations with you from the perspective of a young person.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you've been talking about young person in your book, Dear Young One. Can you define who you're terming, the set of people you're calling the young one? Who is a young person?
That's a tough one, because some definitions will leave some people out, and then they feel like, did you just disenfranchise me? But in my own opinion, a young person is anyone who is still in the late morning to afternoon of their lives. What do I mean? I see life as a clock, right? When you are born, you are in a very early morning of your life, and then you become a child, you become a teenager, you're getting to maybe 9 a.m. in the morning, you become a youth, you're getting to 10, 11, you become an actual youth, like say 22, 23, 24, 25, you're in the afternoon of your life, to 30, that's around 1 p.m. And then from that time downwards, you're getting to the afternoon proper, and then evening. So towards 7, towards 4 is around midlife, and then coming down is midnight. So I see anyone who is between 10 a.m. and 1 a.m., 1 p.m. is a young person, right? Anyone who still identifies as a young person, because the people who are in their 30s, late 30s, that you would call old, and they'll fight you. Do you mean I'm like, do I look old to you? Right? So it's not a one size fits all. But if anyone identifies as a young person, it's for them. But majorly, the people who are still in the formative years of their life, in the most defining years of their lives, 30 below, I would say, are the people for whom the book was written. But anyone who is older, of course, can glean some wisdom from it as well.
From me. Okay, so Chinaza,
Yeah,
you you're a mother
I am.
um, of a smart and very intelligent boy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And from what I can tell from a distance, he's a very curious person and someone that will definitely need your attention all the time.
Yeah.
You are a mother, you are a student, and also a big personality. You are on this stage today, on the other stage tomorrow, and you're also an author. How are you able to connect all of these and you are not worn out?
Well, it's dicey. If I'm
Okay.
being honest, it's dicey because when people hear balance, they think it is 50-50. Sometimes it is 80-20, it is 90-10, depending on what's most important at every phase. Of course, motherhood is always important to me. Being a student is always important to me. So I try to place every other thing around the two most important things to me, right? Like my speaking engagements, I try to move them or only accept engagements that are when I am not actively in school.
Mm.
That way, my grades are not affected. And even if I must accept any engagements during school period, they have to be weekends and
Mm.
maybe on days when I don't have lectures, because I'm not going to sacrifice my grades for that.
Yeah.
Because where I'm going, I need this phase of my life to progress there as well. And then being a mother to a child who is curious and is at a very formative formative phase, I would say. It's challenging. Motherhood is very challenging, but finding a way to make it work, is the blessing that I have.
Mm.
I'm a student, but then I get to spend as much time as I can with him. One thing that has helped me is, with all these expressions of mine, is to be present at every point in time, right? If I am, my son knows that maybe mommy has meeting. There was a time I was doing I was planning the Essence conference. He knows that by, was it 7 p.m., mommy has meetings. On Sundays, mommy has meetings. So we have a conversation. From this time to this time, I am busy. So you go do other things while I have my own time to do my thing. And we have an understanding. Once I'm done with that, I am back to him, right? And he knows whenever I'm with him, I am fully present. My attention is not divided, so that even when I have to do other things, it doesn't feel like I'm denying him or I'm prioritizing that thing over him. And then the same goes with my academics as well. When I'm studying, I'm not thinking of what to post on social media. I'm not thinking of my slides to create. I'm not thinking of even motherhood in that moment, because I have blocked out every other thing within, for that period of time that I have to study, right? So what has helped me actually is being present, prioritization and presence, the gift of presence in everything you're doing. That way, you are not all over the place. Your head is not in a million places while you're trying to focus on one thing. The best thing is to know what to do at this point in time and tell your brain, once we are done with this, we're moving on to this one, so that it does not just bring everything while you are trying to do another thing. So yeah, prioritization and the gift of presence to yourself and to every other thing that you have to do to stay afloat.
Wow. Interesting. You are doing quite a lot at the same time, right? And but if I may ask, if you could go back to, let's say, 6 years, 7 years ago, right?
Oh no.
Is there anything you think you would have done differently?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I I'm very thankful for the gift of my son.
Yeah.
I had him 6 years ago,
Okay.
right? And I don't want my life to be, I wouldn't want my life to be any different from it is right now as regards parenting and motherhood.
Yeah.
But one thing I would have done differently was, get into school. I was very bent on studying medicine. I mean, if it wasn't medicine, it wasn't going to be any other thing.
Oh, okay.
I wrote JAM 7 times.
Really?
Just because I wanted medicine, yes. And when I kept on applying, it just wasn't working. It wasn't until 2020 that I wrote the JAM that actually got me into medicine, into the University of Lagos. Even though I wrote for medicine, but I eventually changed to psychology. But if I could go back 7 years,
Yeah.
I would have. I'm studying psychology now. Who could have thought? I would have maybe applied to a lesser course, right? Go through school and figure things out as I'm going. But even though I would have done something differently, there were some decisions also I made that I wish I didn't, which changed the course of my life. But I'm thankful. Even though I would wish to change some things, but I'm very thankful for the growth that I have achieved as a result of all the chaos and the roller coaster of experiences that I've had from that time till now. So overall, I could have done things differently, but I think I'm okay where I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess you don't want to talk about those things that you could have, changed, but we just take it that there are things you could have changed,
There are
right?
things.
Okay, good. All right then.
Yeah.
All right then. Okay, so ideas grow.
Yeah.
We also grow. Our beliefs, grow with time.
I like where this
Right.
is going.
Yeah. So if this amazing book of yours, right? What's the information in it? Will they be obsolete over time? You understand? Like, okay, if I'm in my early 20s or something, if I read it now, do you think later in life the information in that book will still be useful? Is it a kind of book that is timed, within a period of time that, okay, over time I may not just need the information you need? Or what do you have to say about growing and not needing some information again, and your book?
That's a very interesting question. So what I have to say to that is, at the time of writing this book, it is very, very relevant. Right? Very relevant, because I wrote it to the youth of this time. However, the ideas that are in the book are timeless. They're timeless. What would change eventually might be the use of English, that maybe the people of 50 years from now might find, oh, okay, why is she saying it this way? It sounds weird. I've read some books that have been revised over and over, because even though the authors are dead, but the editors, the publishers felt it's a revision is necessary so that they can adapt it to the current time. They didn't change the ideas, they just changed the tone, the way the message is being passed across.
Yeah.
And even some persons also, what was the name again? I've forgotten the name of the book. The author said, as at the time he wrote the first edition of his book, there were some things he believed in, and that was about 25 years before the time he published the second one. There were some ideas and beliefs he had that he no longer held, and so it was necessary for him to revise the book and improve on what he had written. And maybe there are some he didn't expand on fully, but based on the amount of knowledge he had garnered over the years, he needed to expand it as well. So of course there are timeless classics And the idea in the book will continue to be relevant, but it needs to be adapted over time to the language of maybe whatever time it is in. But anybody that is young at any point in time will find the message, really comforting and empowering.
Thank you.
Because they are fundamental to human nature. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Are you worried about the youth of today? About the young ones of today? Do you have any worry, any concern about the young ones of today?
I am.
Can you tell me about it?
I am. For so many reasons. One is the bombardment, if that's a word, of information that they have right now, which, and the access to arrays of information that they have right now, which is, would I say, destroying us, because I'm a youth, right?
Yeah.
You can easily find anything you're looking for on the internet. You're a youth too.
Yeah.
I mean, you identify as a youth.
Oh, it's about that. I am actually a youth. Come on.
Okay, if you say so.
Yes, I am actually.
You can easily find anything online these days. Good, bad. What the youth of 50 years ago didn't have access to, the youth of today have access to. Pornography is easily accessible right
you
now.
have a phone and internet.
Yes. And there is no regulation around these things. You have, like when I said the access to information, I mean social media, the internet. You see it everywhere. Oh, if this is not the life you want to live, this one is possible. There is good to that and there is bad to that. In that, someone who would ordinarily be content with life would now see other people showing a glimpse of their life and then judge their entire existence by it. The comparison that is being elicited by social media right now is deadly. We have so many young persons who have taken their lives because they feel they don't measure up. And that is troubling. You see so many young people who feel like I have to look a certain way for me to feel beautiful. And you're wondering where that is coming from. It's from the internet. It's because they have access to all of this information. Right? And it's killing us as a generation. And I'm not even as worried. Like, I'm worried for my generation, but I'm even more worried for my son's generation.
Because it doesn't look like it's getting better.
It's not getting better.
Okay.
It's not getting better. However, I shared this concern with a dear mentor of mine, and I told her, I'm worried for my son. If this is how bad my generation is, I'm worried for how bad his own generation will be. And she said, our mothers were worried for us as well. Our parents were worried for us. Our grandparents were worried for our parents. And she ended it with, every generation will find their way. And that really consoled me. Because in every generation, there have been bad people, there have been good people. And however anyone turned out is not just a function of their generation, but their mindset, the kind of training they got as children, as kids, the kind of exposure they got as they were growing up, right? So I decided, okay, I'm not going to be so worried. Instead, I'm going to play my part and ensure that I give my own son the right training so that he doesn't get overwhelmed by the demands and of society and everything that he will see as he's growing up. So yeah, while I'm worried for the youth of today and the youth that will be coming up, I still believe that all of us have agency of our lives. You know, we all have agency. Society can only affect you as much as you allow it. It can only influence you as much as you allow it. You know, even though we are bombarded every day by bytes and bytes of information that, you know, have the capacity to demean us, to make us question our worth, to make us fit into modes that don't really, that are not really for us, we still have agency to decide a different path for ourselves. And that is why I'm, you know, advocating for youth empowerment. That's why my message is to the youth, because, you know, we are in here, but we can choose to not be here. You can choose to carve a different path for yourself and just live a life, like I always say, that when you're 60, you look back and you say, that was a life well lived. Yeah.
Okay, so, Chinaza, thank you. Thank you. I personally have learned quite a number of things from this section, and I'm going to watch this video again and again. But I always like to ask this question. You are a deep thinker, and you flow very well, and it's obvious that you are a good reader as well. Okay,
Yeah.
so on this show today, do you mind telling us one book, aside your book now, that you would want everyone out there to go read, that changed something in you? Of course, different books depending on what you want to learn, right? But of course, there is just one book. Even as I'm saying it now, I am very, very sure that the name of the book is coming to mind, right? Yeah. So, what's that one book you think everybody should read? Okay.
Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Have you read it?
No. But I am a big fan of Greene, and I recently even saw one of his podcasts.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and it was really a very good one. So, but then, did you read that book because of your, career? Maybe because you are
Into
are
psychology?
one person that want to know how human beings behave and all, or you think the book is for everyone?
The book is for everybody who identifies. I'm trying to be very careful with my words these days. Who identifies as a human being.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine.
Yes.
Who identifies as human being?
The reason is simple. You are human. You have to understand your nature. I didn't read the book because I wanted to just learn how people behave or whatever. I read it to see myself, to understand. So I had bought the book earlier, but something happened recently that shook me to my core, and I decided, Chinaza, it is time to pick this book. And I started reading it. And since then, anybody who tells me, please recommend the book to me, I say, go and read it. You cannot read it. You should not read any other book if you have not read that one. Why? Because it's foundational. You want to build success. You want to build a successful career. Do you even understand your tendencies? Do you understand whether you are impulsive, whether you are irrational? Do you understand the laws of envy? Do you understand how to take ownership of your own self? If you've not mastered yourself, don't worry about mastering any other thing. That's my own belief, And the thing is, so many people read the book because as I read it, they're like, yes, this is this person, this is that person. But I read it, as I'm reading, I'm looking at which of this is me. because
so many people read it for others. But you
yes.
read it for yourself.
But one of the reasons I like Robert is his books are not one-sided. He's telling you how to identify certain traits in people, but he's telling you also look at those traits in you.
In you.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you're being honest to yourself, you'll see those traits. Unless you're being narcissistic, unless you're being blinded by ego, that you don't want to admit the truth to yourself. But laws of human nature, anybody that breathes, that is Homo sapien like me, should go and read that book. You know,
Wow.
it will help them to conquer a lot of their weaknesses, amplify their strengths, and not just that, relate better with people. If I understand your tendencies, if I understand that this is how humans behave, I won't be surprised when you do certain things that are natural to human nature. I will only have myself to blame because I have not protected myself against some outbursts, you know. So yeah, everybody should just go and read that book.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, before we go, for let's say this podcast is for the young one.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. By the way, this beautiful book by Chinaza Favour, right? Where can people get it?
It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon. Okay,
Yes,
so
so
you can get this book on Amazon, wherever you're watching this, and yes, and all leading stores, I
Yes.
believe, right? Yeah, so
Yes.
you can get the book there. Okay, so one word for the viewer, or is it one word now? Maybe your last statement for the viewer.
If I have one thing to say, it is to know yourself, right? Know yourself. Know what you are worth. Know what you are not worth. Be honest to yourself. The reason I say that is we tend to think so highly of ourselves that we don't even see our loopholes, you know, our blind spots, and then we engage in things that demean who we are supposed to be. So when you know yourself, when you are aware of your worth, when you know what you're capable of, what you're not capable of, you're able to carve a better path for yourself, especially as a young person. You don't want to be thrown around and tossed around by society, by expectations. You want to decide on your own, this is who I am, this is where I'm headed, and it's in my best interest to take this path, you know, regardless of what anyone says. I mean, they will eventually come around, you know, yeah. So that's my last word to you.
All right, guys, thank you so very much for joining us on this episode of Books Ignite. I believe you have learned one or two things, and join us on the next episode. I guess you say bye to the viewers, right?
Bye. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast,
Oh,
Mr. Fola.
me?
I had an amazing time with you.
Trust
Thank you.
me, I look forward to this, and I knew that it's going to be a blast. Thank you so very much for saying
Thank
yes
you.
to this beautiful section.
Of course.
Right, thank you, guys. Join us on the next episode of Books Ignite, as we will be bringing another amazing guest on this show for us to have a conversation, heart-to-heart conversation like this. Subscribe, like, share, help us grow so that we can take this message to the world together. I truly appreciate you. Continue to live while you are alive. Bye.